নমস্কার, আপনারা দেখছেন ইন্দো বাংলা টাইমস বিজনেস। ছোট ক্ষুদ্র মাঝারি শিল্পের ব্যবসায়ীদের জন্য এবার সুখবর। অ্যাডামাস ইউনিভার্সিটি আর এসআর পাবলিশার্সের উদ্যোগে এক গোল টেবিল বৈঠক হলো। আর এই গোল টেবিল বৈঠকের মূল বিষয়বস্তু ছিল MSME অ্যান্ড ইনিশিয়েটিভ ফর ইজ অফ ডুইং বিজনেস। ভারত কোকিং কোল লিমিটেডও এর উদ্যোক্তা হিসেবে ছিল। অর্থাৎ আলোচনার নাম শুনলেই আপনারা বুঝতে পারছেন যে আলোচনার বিষয়বস্তু কি ছিল। ক্ষুদ্র মাঝারি ছোট যে ব্যবসায়ীরা রয়েছেন সেই ব্যবসায়ীরা তাদের ব্যবসায় কি কি প্রতিকূলতা প্রতি মুহূর্তে সম্মুখীন হন, তাছাড়াও তার সমাধান কি হতে পারে, সরকার থেকে তার সমাধানের কি কি উপায় বলে দেওয়া হয়েছে বা কি কি প্রতিকার তার থাকতে পারে, এই যাবতীয় বিষয়বস্তু নিয়ে আলোচনা হয়েছিল এই আলোচনা সভায়। এখানে উপস্থিত ছিলেন বিভিন্ন বাণিজ্যিক প্রতিষ্ঠানের উচ্চ পদস্থ আধিকারিকরা, ব্যাংকাররা। এই আলোচনা সভায় কি আলোচনা হয়েছে শুনুন।
Thank you, Mr. Datta, once again. You mentioned about Hiren Mukherjee and Mrs. Gandhi's kind of encounter on the floor of the house. When we were young, there used to be a very popular poster and saying in West Bengal that whenever in Bengal, always make sure to turn left. So I chose to take a middle path. From my side, I looked rightward, so that you can look leftward. And started with Mr. Datta. Anyway, thanks for your wonderful insight. I think we should now go to Damodar Valley Corporation, DVC, and Dr. John Mathai. May I have your views on the subject, the opening remarks, then we can pick up few things from here, whatever opening remarks you have.
Thank you, Mr. Mukherjee. While coming for this interaction in this panel discussion, and recently I was reading a book. The book is written by Yuri Levin. He is an Israeli entrepreneur. So he was narrating a story in that book about how he's a passionate entrepreneur. So he just started a small scale stuff. It was about a development of an application in the system. It's an app for solving a transportation problem in Israel. So now, after having set up this small scale business, it started growing, and then one day, a few officials from Google walked into his office and they said, "We want to buy it." Okay, now it was a very challenging moment for him because he had actually built it up with a lot of passion and love. He was thinking about that organization as his first love. Okay, Valentine's Day was just 2 days back. So he was telling what to do. So he discussed along with his teammates, and then finally there was some resistance to buying and selling, and finally they sold it for 1.3 billion US dollars. And as he was telling, as in his life, when he went on further, he started many more unicorns and kept on selling the companies itself. So in the entire context, what he's narrating is that to make any enterprise successful, is the core idea is about falling in love with the problem, not with the solution. This is one thing this is one side of it. And on the other side, when we look at India as a country and the Indian demographics as you see, we find that if you take the average age of India, it's about 29 years. So, as you can see, half of the people are below 29 years of age and then half above 29. So, this country is full of youth to that extent. And as Datta Sahab was telling, it's also a problem to some extent, as to because there is so much of mouth to feed and so many people whom you have to give employment. And if you contextualize the whole thing, And when we contextualize, as Mr. Savik was telling, contextualize the institutions like say Adams University, we find that we were preparing children basically for the jobs, not for basically to become entrepreneurs. So there was some kind of a gap which was coming up. And also in the job, we were preparing perhaps to make everybody an economist rather than to make them, skilled and this kind of steps, especially in West Bengal, if you see. So what is happening is there was a huge gap in this, the entire kind of context. If you look at the demographic context, there was an issue. So the MSME, in my opinion, is a bold step which the government has taken forward, that the youth, especially the people who are looking for job, actually look for entrepreneurship. This is the spirit of the whole structure. And when we look at this, then how do we make it realize this vision of the government? How to make this thing come true? When we look at ourselves as a corporate, there are government instructions that we should make minimum 25% of purchase from the micro and small scale industries. And we are proud to say that in most of the organizations, especially in the power sector where I represent, we kind of buy not less than 45 to 50% of our entire services and supply from the MSME only. And from MSME also, MSC primarily, micro and small. And out of that also, 4% we allocate for the SC/ST community. And 3% we also allocate to the MSc entrepreneurs who are women. So these are the things which government has put forward, which many industries are following. And also if you look at the payment cycle, that 45% of 45 days of payment is envisaged. And I have found many of my industrial colleagues, they say that it has created a lot of problem in their cash flow. Because most of the time, they just delay the payment to the suppliers. But in MSME, you cannot stop it. You have to make the payment, otherwise you have to pay 3 times the bank interest rates to them. After 45 days, they raise the complaint. But nevertheless, the thing is that these regulations, that systems have to be in place, which government is currently doing. At the same time, as my previous speaker, Mr. Datta, was telling, it has to be implemented in the right spirit by the people who are doing it, and also by the MSME people who would be doing it. And the academia, Adams University and institutions like that, when they prepare the children and when they prepare the faculty to teach the people of the importance of making India a country of entrepreneurs, so that the MSME people take the country to a further height. Even as of today, as Mr. Datta was also mentioning, about 45% of the entire manufacturing supply is supported by the MSME and also the export sector. So there is definitely a silver lining in the entire business of MSME, but at the same time, we need to take it forward, this particular concept, so that the vision, when we took up this MSME into picture, is realized in full spirit with the development and growth of the people. And absolutely there is no problem for MSME also to become companies, also to become startups. There is absolutely, perhaps this is the way in which perhaps the bridge or the gap between the MSME and a startup is also kind of getting narrowed. In this context, the pure entrepreneurship spirit is to be infused into the curriculum system, into the operational system by the government, by the system and the academy. That's all my thought in this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. For me personally, DVC was like what in Bengali we call Mamar Bari, maternal uncle's palace, because my mama used to work with DVC for years together in the finance department. So I never knew that DVC has now become a kind of Mamar Bari for the MSME sector also. So whenever you want some relaxation, something, you can go and look forward to a company like DVC for this kind of relaxation and shops which he mentioned just now. Thank you very much for the insight. So moving on from public sector to private sector, we have someone actually we should be specially thankful and we should extend our special gratitude to him. So despite his problem with the throat, he has come here. So can I have the private sector views on, because you have learned it the hard way, your experience as an entrepreneur, as a businessman. So can I have your views? Maybe not to you, but I represent. No problem. Even in cricket, extra runner is allowed.
My name is Sachin and I'm representing Sachin sir here, speaking on his behalf. At the onset, I would like to thank each of the panelists and thank you, sir, for giving us this opportunity to present our views. Having worked very closely with Sachin sir for the past 4 years, I can tell you that he values the MSME sector very, very closely. He watches what happens in that sector. It's on the top of his mind when it comes to understanding government policies, how it will affect, of course, the sector and what affects MSMEs with respect to this. Just to share an anecdote, the first thing when the budget came out just a few days ago, sir asked me what do you think has happened around it, and I told him my views around it, and he said, okay, but what is in it for the MSMEs? So I shared with him the fact that there was a new scheme that was announced. The government is trying to set up something like 5 lakh first-time entrepreneurs will be getting credit. Women entrepreneurs encouraged. So he asked me, what's your take on this? And so I asked him, sir, the first thing that the MSMEs face possibly is credit, which they at times do not get at the right time, which possibly leads to stunted growth, which possibly leads to where they don't want to be, they end up being. So he says, exactly, I think the government is headed the right way, and that's what his thoughts were, that maybe, if we can get credit to them at the right time, they could scale up much, much faster, much, much better, and it augurs well for the entire Indian economy, because we witnessed for the last 10-15 years now that government has been focusing specifically on MSMEs. As Mr. Mathai has pointed out, PSUs have been mandated to give at least 25% of their contracts purchases to MSMEs, specific focus on micro and small enterprises. So it's all auguring well, and in fact we've also taken a number of steps to include MSMEs amongst our vendors. We include them quite aggressively. We are open to the idea of inclusion in whatever sphere it is possible. So I'll just leave the panel with the thought that maybe better credit facilities could extend their growth much, much smoother. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There are 3 bankers here. They may have arrived late, but I am sure they must be checking some papers, maybe some of the MSME proposals also. So it's very important, until and unless we have access to capital, it's very difficult to move on, whatever or whoever may say whatever. So may I now ask, you are from Central Bank. So can I have your views on how your budget, as Sachin mentioned, there are a few steps like credit guarantee increase and then credit cards, just to infuse more credit into the system. So actually, is it becoming easier for the MSME segment to access capital?
Good evening, respected panelists and the wonderful audience here. From the banker side, I'd like to add that the government focus and the individual focus is also on the MSME sector itself. Because MSME sector is an area where it not only gives an opportunity for the individual to grow his business, but also creates employment. So it is a win-win situation for everyone. So it is not only helping the economy grow, but helping the individuals increase their livelihood in a better way. So for that, as a banker, we have various products that are available for the businesses, business houses, and individuals who would wish to, come up with new products. And the Central Bank of India is also very much focused in lending to all these business houses at a much cheaper rate, at a much, cost benefit rate, so that, and also the ease of doing, getting a loan for all these business units have also become very easier. Like say, people used to find it difficult earlier to get a loan. They were supposed to get all the collaterals and all those things. But now with all these GST filings and other things, it has become easier because the government is also giving a NCGTC cover or CGTMSE cover, which helps the business houses to take these guarantee covers and get the loan and grow their businesses. So, banks, not only Central Bank of India, but all public sector banks and private banks are coming up with all these kind of, enhanced products, tailor-made products for the customers, and which is going to help them, in getting the loans in an easier way. So, definitely, the banks are very positive towards the MSME sector and wants to further curtail the hindrances that the customers face while taking the loans. So, it is evident now that everyone's focus, because after India being an agricultural nation, after agriculture the major growth is towards MSME only. And now as the bankers are very focused towards MSME side, the kind of products that are banks bringing, like say a GST product, GST linked on the basis of the GST filing that a company does, on that basis the bank analyzes what could be the working capital limit that can be given to an individual. So it is a collateral free loan. Now earlier it used to be, to give it to a company, the confidence used to come only when there is when it is backed by a collateral. But now it is on the discipline of the individual or the company that a bank is able to decide what kind of a working capital facility can be given to that unit. Similarly, even for wherever there is a vendor financing or a channel financing, for that also we have a lot of customized, tailor-made products to suit that particular business. Whether it is seasonal, whether it is regular business, every kind of product is available. So detailed products, will deliberate in the later part of the session. But from Central Bank of India's point of view, I feel that MSME is the area where every individual has an opportunity to grow if we are in that particular line. So with that, I would further discuss on a later session. So this is what I want to add.
Thank you so much. As Mr. Datta mentioned some time back that lighting of the lamp was taking place, that as a student of economics, let us assume that it's already lit up. So when we started studying economics, our head of the department in those days, he also came up with an anecdotal story. Basically, there were three friends who were lost in a dense forest. Physicist, chemist, he said, and an economist. They were left with nothing actually, and suddenly they found a box, a very box, locked completely, and so they were very hungry. So three of them thought, let's see what is there inside. So they were trying to open that box, a kind of metal box. So that the chemist among the three friends started thinking, what could be the chemical reaction that I can undertake here to open the box. The physician, the physics student, he said, so let me see how much heat I need to apply. So both of them were scratching their heads. In between that student of economics, he said, let us assume that the box is open and we are having the food. So in this, whatever we have just discussed, sorry, basically we are being journalists, so we are tempted to ask you this question. So there are few things which are on paper, but who actually fight ground zero, they face so many problems. So with those problems, I would like to move on to the person from State Bank of India, I think Mr. Rajnish Kumar, and say, how do you kind of mitigate the risk also, because as a banker you need to mitigate the risk. But if you go on doling out loans to whoever comes to you in a very easy and simple manner, you may have to face some problems while the repayment problem comes in. So how do you mitigate the risk and at the same time be generous to the MSME sector?
Good evening, esteemed panelists and all the esteemed MSME stakeholders here. We all are stakeholders. We have got a stake in the MSME. So your question first. Before that, I would like to that it's not like on paper. It's not a thought. It's like we have already MSME side, not only State Bank but all.
Let us not assume.
Yeah, this is there. See, we can just 2 days back, I was in RBI with the data, all those quarterly data we were discussing about the growth of MSME. That is the RBI is the panel of all the banks where we present the data. So SBI growth, YOY growth is 48% in MSME sector. It is like 48% YOY we have grown, and at the same time, like when it's coming to number of applications, we have handled more than 70,000 applications we have received. Out of that, 60,000 already been disposed of with sanctions. Few rejections are there because of there are issues with CIBIL and everything where we can't do anything. So coming to this, that yes, we have, as not only SBI, government and every like stakeholders are coming up for MSME. They are looking at MSME is the key driver for growth of the country. Vikasit Bharat cannot be become without MSME development, because this is not only one MSME entrepreneur is giving jobs to at least minimum 5 to 10 people, small to small. Even one chai wala bhi, that is giving 2 or 3 people jobs. Yeah. So last 1 year, starting with the PM Swanidhi loan also, we have disbursed more than 80,000 PM Swanidhi loan in the last 1 year. And all bank, if we include all bank, it is more than a lakh in last, because earlier this PM Swanidhi was not so much popular here due to some issues, but it came up, and this is all beneficiaries are small vendors. And now the second dose and third dose of PM Swanidhi is going on, because those who have repaid well, they are getting 20,000 and 50,000 also have come. So this is grassroots level. I am talking about higher numbers of grassroots, because we see all the things in this West Bengal perspective only. That is the small side. Then coming to your last 1 year, like trades platform have developed in West Bengal like anything. Even we have grown our trades platform right now, like having balance of more than 1,600 crore, and this is the like bills are getting. So almost maximum PSUs and private sector have been onboarded on trades platform, either on mine or other guys. There are 3 major stakeholders in that trades platform, and that is for your vendor payment at ease level. And once your rating is there, accordingly you are getting rates there, and your vendors are getting paid on very good rate. Normal rate of interest on trades platform is 7.5 to 9 almost. Triple B rated company is getting less than 9 only. So this is the cheaper as well as faster way of delivery of your MSMEs are getting better. So many of you people are also having enrolled your company for payment of MSMEs, vendors. And coming up to again another thing is, which sir was talking about, there is tailor-made product, vendor payment system, vendor and supplier payment. So that way also almost all the bank have got this product. There, if you have got some vendors where you are taking regularly with your bank, normally we are also having, like we are even approaching sir also for vendor payment module we want to implement in this. I think we more than 100 crore we are disbursing for their vendor. This is a different module. All vendors can get the moment they get the invoice, like the invoice of that receipt of the goods, they can upload the invoice and payment will be made, and once that payment is due, they will be debiting, we will be debiting their account. That way vendor payment model is also working. And now coming to, again to this side, like ease of business side. So one step which our bank has taken, that is last year December we have enrolled BRE, Business Rule Engine. This is something where any loan, earlier it is always on the mercy of that processing officer which how much limit it will be given. But here it is all on three things. API is with the GST, ITR and last 13-month balance sheet. These three things, my person can go to, even with tab, he can go to that place, because sometimes it's a both way. Like as a person, you can also, as an entrepreneur, you can also log in through PSB 99. But normally this is something there, people are not feeling very comfortable. So our person, our bank officials can log in there, or they can come to the branch, and in 45 minutes their limits are being assessed within that whole system. There is no paperwork. All the things are like those GST returns and ITR and photograph will be uploaded. And once this is assessed here, no processing officer can reduce the limit. They have to give that limit. And this is creating limit based on your transactions as well as GST, because GST, when you are selling, there is GST return. GST returns, through GST, we are getting that this money has to come. So this is through your account statement, we are getting that also. So this is verified. And GST are one. So all the GST, this is through API, we have integrated this. So all GST, even all the sales have been captured from there. Actual sales, so balance sheet. And at the same time, profitability will be checked through ITR. So all three things makes, and 45 minutes you get the loan sanction, and after that only one inspection will be done, and you the person will be called for documentation and disbursement of the loan. So it's still, this is like we are trying that more my people are going on the ground and doing it. Yes, my processing centers have been equipped with this, but at the same time it is going down, and every branch will be doing it very soon. Like everybody is doing, but it's again, this is like for last 20 years, a lot of people are in retail banking, so they are always comfortable with retail things. So this is something where in last, like from April to December, we have disbursed more than 2,300 loans in 10 to 50 lakh segment. Except Mudra. Mudra is different. Mudra, the number is quite high. Up to 10 lakh, their number is more than 7,000. But 10 to 50 lakh, this is the real, like, the Mudra loan are normally startups, small startups. But here, this is those who have established their business, we are approaching them. And I'm sure a lot of other banks are doing the same way, digital platforms are there. And other thing is that up to 5 crore, we are totally collateral free. Okay. So this year, we have done more than whatever we have disbursed. 58% are under CGT MSME, up to 5 crore everything. And with this budget, 10 crore will be under the purview of this. So 10 crore, rest assured, if you don't have collateral, you will get the loan up to 10 crore. No, banks are like committed on this. The collateral free loan will be there. It's collateral free only. One more benefit is there, delivery is faster because there is no collateral. There should not be any search report or valuations every year. Those things will be not there. So we have given a tag for collateral free loan is 10 to 12 days only maximum. Maximum time, because there like applications are in process, everybody has to document it. So 10 to 12 days you will get a loan. So these are the, like, not only bank, government as well as all. These are the things which are like online here in MSME sector in West Bengal as well as across the country. So, and about risk, when collateral free, government is giving me guarantee, I am not much of, and with this, I have seen that my Mudra loans are less than 5%. And these are the small startups that are also less. And my total NP is less than 3%. 2.39% is my total NP, my books NP is. So it's at par the industry. I don't think it is very risky with this. So we are taking care of risk also as well as growth. Thank you.